Hey folks, how you doing? It is March, and I have a birthday coming up at the beginning of April, and I thought as a little birthday present to myself and to the rest of you, I do a little series on a very specialized sub-subgenre, my favorite sub-subgenre, as they say. A genre is, of course, action, comedy, drama, or science fiction, what have you. A subgenre is, of course, say, science fiction comedy, Back to the Future, or science fiction adventure, Star Trek, or science fiction drama, Solaris, with George Clooney. The subgenre is a subset of that, I suppose. This isn't an official sub-subgenre as far as I know. I don't even know what the correct term for it would be, but the name that I have given it is the tragic science fiction romance. And that's a very specialized kind of storyline, one that appeals to me a great deal. And one of the first films, if not the first, that I identified as being part of the genre is The Terminator from 1984. The very first Terminator film. The main character is Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton. And she is a waitress in the present, and that is, of course, the 80s. She is doesn't have the best life. Things are not going terribly, but they're not going all that great either. She's a waitress at Denny's or something. She doesn't really like her job very much, as most people don't. A lot of people don't. She lives with her roommate. She has dating problems. Basically, she considers herself to be unremarkable. And then two individuals travel back in time from the future, the year 2029. One of them is trying to kill her. As it turns out, this is a robot disguised under a layer of human tissue called the Terminator, and he is, of course, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. The other person is the Michael Beihn character, a soldier named Kyle Reese, who is dispatched from the future to find Sarah and protect her from the Terminator and destroy it if possible. The reason for this is because Sarah, this unremarkable woman, will give birth to a very, very special person. Her son, John, will grow up to be the leader of the human resistance when the artificially intelligent technology that runs all the machines and Terminators and cyborgs and other things like that decides to wipe out mankind because it perceives it as a threat to its own existence. So what it does is it sends a robot back in time to kill Sarah Connor before she gives birth, before she even conceives her child. As it turns out, the soldier, Kyle, who was sent back in time to protect her, has actually been in love with her for a long time, sort of infatuated her by a little photograph, and they end up getting together one evening, and he impregnates her, and thusly he is the father of the very person who sent him back in time from the future in the first place. Now, as I said, this is a tragedy, so it might not surprise you, if you haven't seen the movie, to learn that they don't end up together in the end. There's a death, basically, aside from just the Terminator itself. When I saw this movie, I was very, very impressed by the storyline and the way the whole timeline resembles this big sort of logic loop that can't be broken. Now, the funny thing is, in Terminator 2, they actually break the loop by changing the present in order to affect the future. But then in Terminator 3, it kind of goes back again. But I'm not talking about the series as a whole. I'm just talking about the first Terminator movie, which is, for James Cameron, the director of Avatar and Titanic, and obviously Terminator 2, has worked with much bigger budgets, and this was a movie that cost less than $10 million and had all kinds of very cheap-looking stop-motion effects and makeup effects and models and what have you. But at the core of it all, I mean, it's a suspenseful movie, and for me, it was actually pretty scary and intense when I saw it, and the whole concept of the Terminator itself was really, really amazing. But the core of it basically is a story of the relationship between Sarah and Kyle. The dialogue might be hokey, and it might seem a little idealized for the two of them to have this incredible, life-changing love affair in the middle of being on the run from this cyborg that's trying to kill them, and they only basically end up spending like a few days together. But it is sort of kind of the thing that got me started on this whole subgenre, which is a romance with a science fiction setting that in the end does not turn out happily for all parties concerned. So that would be the first one. And I'm going to be making more videos over the course of this month in regards to this. There was a recent release that came out about a year and a half ago called The Time Traveler's Wife. I'll be talking about that. Another couple of movies that I'll be talking about are The Fly by David Cronenberg with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. 12 Monkeys by Terry Gilliam, which stars Bruce Willis and Madeline Stowe, and Dark City by Alex Proyas, which stars Rufus Sewell and Jennifer Connelly. And there might be a few other ones thrown in there. And I might also throw in a few examples of movies that almost are sci-fi tragic romances, but not totally. And one of those actually would be The Adjustment Bureau, which is a video I made just last weekend. It could have been a tragic sci-fi romance, the kind that I like, but as it turns out in the end, it isn't. So it doesn't really fit into this category. Anyway, I hope you find this little series I'm doing interesting, and I hope you stay tuned for subsequent videos I'll be talking about. I mean, films I'll be talking about here. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.